Good morning. Good morning. Why is this funny? Today we are going to review one of the world's largest and most valuable information resources on Bitcoin. Myself. I'm joking. I mean the Bitcoin subreddit, known for its vast amount of users and highly stringent moderation practices. Does this equate into worthwhile and valuable information? I suspect not, but let's find out. I did one of these types of videos before and it was a lot of fun, so let's do it again today. Bitcoin is very lucky and very unlucky at the same time. Lucky because it did not see any recession in its lifetime, giving it time to grow. Unlucky, it is about to face an apocalyptical financial downturn when it is still in its infancy. Many problems to solve before it can do any heavy lifting. It's been 10 years though. I would suspect it's been long enough. Is apocalyptical a word? I just keep hearing this game sound effect. I talked about this more at the end of the last video, but it's only assumed to be an apocalyptical downturn. Downturn for sure, but banks, as good as they are, they're printing loads of money, infinite amounts of money, to bail out any industry that needs it and that is critical. So, a downturn, sure. Apocalyptical, though. I don't know. The way I see it is, this broader market crash is just another stress test for Bitcoin. And as the old meme goes, this is good for Bitcoin. This isn't a meme. This is 100% entirely accurate. Just look at Bitcoin today. Over $7,000. This is good for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin was down today, it just means that weaker hands are getting shaken out. And that is good for Bitcoin. And if it was stable, stability is good for Bitcoin. When inflation starts roaring, people will look for alternatives, like food. I completely agree. That's probably not what he meant though. Look, Bitcoin is still a very speculative asset for many. To put it another way, retail investors during a pandemic. Food, rent, toilet paper, N95 mask. Bitcoin though. Ooh yeah. I'm only talking harshly here, or at least it might appear that I am, because I want people to be realistic. I want a new all-time high as much as the next guy for Bitcoin, but maybe we should rein expectations in here. Or not. Maybe we should go absolutely nuts. Let me show you some nuts. To maintain $7,000 since October 2017, has it been that long? Bitcoin must have had about $400 million new cash inflow every month for the last 2.5 years. So this is what he's talking about here, is the fact that miners sell the majority of the Bitcoin that they mine, if not 100% of it. So it takes $400 million a month just to keep Bitcoin stable. After the halving, which is next month by the way, we only need $200 million per month to keep the $7,000 level. If 400 million stays, then rocket emoji, and the rocket emoji is going up. So I actually think that this is something to go nuts over, for sure. Price suppression with fake, inexistent Bitcoins. A centralized exchange can sell to you cheap Bitcoins that they do not have. Who is selling me cheap Bitcoin? I don't know. As long as users do not effectively withdraw their coins, they will not even notice that they are simply sitting on fake Bitcoins. How do we know that centralized exchanges are doing this? Well, the banking system is currently suppressing the gold price in exactly the same way. Oh, I thought they might actually provide some proof. Let's assume for a moment then that Bitcoin block explorers are not a thing, that exchanges cold storage wasn't a matter of public record. One thing to keep in mind, at least for the big boys, is that charging you fees for buying and selling, as well as market making, which is essentially making money between the people that are selling and the people that are buying, that little bit of price difference can be quite profitable. They're making a lot of money from doing this. How else is Coinbase, hold on a sec, valued at $8 billion, other than the insider trading, of course. So they've got a good system going here. So in terms of fractional reserving deposits, I mean, I would expect a place like Coinbase at least to be able to honor every withdrawal. When it goes for other exchanges, like just take your coins off there is probably the best bet. But for people like them, they're financially incentivized to keep their business going. Because the situation is, do I exit scam or do I make more money? Time favors Bitcoin, and its superiority will be obvious for everyone sooner or later. It's a pretty interesting topic. I'm not going to read the article because most articles are terrible. Like the OP said, time will tell. This will be the biggest test of the USD and the modern global economy. True. Everything is based off the dollar around the planet. There is a good chance it recovers, okay? Everyone is printing money. If the powers that be can shut down the corruption, cycle into an inflationary period, and present real value, the dollar will be fine. Powers that be, corruption's only ever going to increase in an increasingly hedonistic, nihilistic, materialistic, lots of sticks there, society. That's only going to increase. But I do agree the dollar will probably be fine. Meanwhile, the powers that be will be attacking crypto by law. You can see it already happening because it is a threat. I mean, I think they know that it's too late to ban Bitcoin at this stage, and that's why they haven't. What they are doing instead, however, is giving powers to companies to inflate Bitcoin on paper. As the CME put it, or one senior at the CME, we will tame Bitcoin. But if there is a threat, then some people will understand that it's going to be an opportunity. And I don't think that any smart economy is going to want to ruin their chance at being involved in a potential digital revolution. I think this is what Russia was doing with the whole, we want to challenge China's Bitcoin mining dominance, but could be wrong about that. Over a year, Bitcoin's price has risen 35%. This is actually true. Bitcoin's safe haven status confirmed. If you bought it exactly 1 year ago. Just a little bit of small print. If you bought some months ago, you are now in loss. If you bought at December 2017, you are now in a very big loss. But if you mined around 2010 to 2012, now you give advices, buy Bitcoin. It is the best thing ever created in all the universe. This sounds a little bit bitter, but I don't doubt that this is true. Your whole premise that Bitcoin is superior is based off of a hope and prayer that another currency system fails. That doesn't sound like a good system to me. That does not sound like a good system. I think, though, it's been a long time since everyone considered Bitcoin's only use case being a replacement for fiat currencies, like complete like-for-like replacement. I think most people at this point understand there's a little bit more utility than just payments. Unless you're Roger Ver, of course. That is why it was created in the first place. Read the original white paper. That's true. That is true. That comment was going to be inevitable. If only we had a CEO to tell us what was right and wrong to think about Bitcoin, huh? Finally done. Here is the short film this community helped us make.
He left you a bust of his prized deer and a fishing pole. I almost forgot.
Ooh. What is it?
On that is some Bitcoin. He bought it in 2010.
I don't know what that is.
Some kind of new digital currency or something. I don't fool with it.
That would be nice. Who uses Bing? This is fake. Look how slow Bing is.
What's up, my critches? It's Sean, the Crypto Shaman, teaching you how to cash out your Bitcoin with some fiat currency. Let's go. In order to cash out, you need to get your Bitcoin from your hardware wallet to the exchange. There, you'll be able to exchange it from Bitcoin to US dollars. At buycrypt.com, open your wallet and copy the deposit address. Now paste that into the send address of your hardware wallet. And now you're ready to send.
I've been there. Not with that much Bitcoin, but fun.
But before you do, my critches, double, triple check that you have copied the entire address. Because if you didn't, that Bitcoin is gone forever.
Easy come, easy go. That was good. That's very relatable, actually. I like that. Well done. Liked. I must sign in. Never mind. I tried. Class action lawsuits filed against Binance, Tron, Block 1, BitMEX, brackets price manipulation, and 7 others. I'm pretty sure they get a class action lawsuit every single month. And a lot of their profits has to go towards funding their lawyer retainer fees. The filing against Binance claims that the cryptocurrency exchange sold securities without a license, for sure. Tron sold Tron in an initial coin offering while Tron kept 35% of the Tron tokens for itself, according to the lawsuit. Okay. The lawsuit claims that Block 1 promoted, offered, and sold the EOS token in the US. It refers to a $24 million settlement between Block 1 and the SEC over this issue. I don't know why they're suing them again when all they got was a slap on the wrist, essentially, for raising billions. Same with the other two. Slap on the wrist, so what? They do it again. The lawsuit filed against HDR Global Trading BitMEX claims that the firm sold securities without registering as a securities exchange. Again, it's just a slap on the wrist. It asserts that BitMEX traded against its own customers via its trading desk, which was only revealed to exist in 2018. My. BitMEX being unreasonable. So, in the words of its co-founder and CEO, BitMEX changed its business model to focus on degenerate gamblers, also known as retail investors, that's you by the way, by offering 100x leveraged trades, because you all love that. In allowing customers to leverage at the extraordinary ratio of 100 to 1, about 20 times higher than the common ratio in trading, BitMEX positioned itself to benefit consistently, significantly, and predictably from the combination of attracting overly hopeful investors and small price fluctuations on other exchanges. This structure creates substantial incentives for BitMEX to surreptitiously cause such fluctuations. I love law documents. It's just, not most of the time. When I understand what they're talking about, I love it. They couldn't put it more eloquently. Implementing its business approach, BitMEX deliberately based the price of its futures on spot market exchanges that have limited liquidity and are thus relatively easy to manipulate. All right, let's have a look into that actually. Bybit price index. This is how Bybit get their Bitcoin price. It is the sum of weighted average of Bitcoin spot trading prices from the following exchanges. So it's pegged to these: Bitstamp, Coinbase Pro, Kraken, Gemini, and Bittrex. That's not too bad. I'd like to see a few more exchanges on there to get my full respect, especially Binance. That's the big one that's missing here. I don't think BitMEX does as well. BitMEX price index. They certainly don't make it easy to find. Okay, that took ages to find. Indices. Surprisingly, for an exchange with its volume, BitMEX only uses 3 spot exchanges to obtain its price data. They are Bitstamp, Kraken, and Coinbase Pro. Yeah, that is not good. That is really, really not good. Pretty sure I've made a few videos about this, but there have been examples of flash crashes in Bitcoin where, funnily enough, it started at Bitstamp, one of the 3, so a huge weighting of BitMEX's price, starting right there. So yes, it is pretty easy for them to manipulate the price. I'm almost certain they've done it before and that they'll continue to do it. Not as easy on Bybit, but definitely possible. Automatically liquidating contracts that were out of the money, BitMEX would cover the investors' losses, but would also take all of the investors' collateral. One thing to keep in mind, though, about this when we talk about manipulation is the fact that 85% of retail traders, that means you, most likely, unless you're an institution, loses money trading, especially derivatives. So if you were then to put that into cryptocurrency trading, right? So I was just talking about the stock market, essentially. Start talking about something wildly fluctuating and manipulated as Bitcoin. Introduce retail traders. Then does the percentage go from 85 to 95? Does it go to 99? And here's the other thing to understand as well. BitMEX, Bybit, etc. are casinos. They don't want to see all of their customers win because the casino must pay them. They want to see you lose. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that they can manipulate, but ultimately they're still going to make a lot of money whether they do or not. Billionaire investor makes the case for $1 million Bitcoin price. To be fair, he can't win here. He's between a rock and a hard place. Let me put it this way. A CEO says shares in his own company are going to 1000x over the next 10 years. How seriously are you going to take that guy? But similarly, another guy says that stocks in this particular company are going to 1000x over the next 10 years, but he doesn't hold any. You see what I mean? He just can't win. The dollar is dying. Buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin, says Rich Dad, Poor Dad author. I assume that his heart is in the right place. I've heard that that book is good. Maybe I should read it. But is it actually dying? Dollar worldwide demand. No, I did not spell worldwide wrong. A global rush into the US dollar. Global rush into the US dollar is driving extreme market moves and a temporary shortage. The dollar continues to surge against other currencies as institutions and companies around the world rush to draw down credit lines and seek dollars for funding needs. The Fed has responded by opening the spigot to other foreign central banks, but its efforts so far have failed to quell the extreme upside volatility of the dollar. Ultimately, G7 finance ministers may see a need to intervene, according to strategists. Oh, okay. Well, that took all of 30 seconds to disprove. Dollar is dying. Dollar has never been in more demand. Final verdict then for the R Bitcoin Reddit page is delusional. You know, maybe it was just a bad day. There is sometimes certainly a lot of useful information here, but maybe just take everything you read with a spigot, a spigeon of skepticism, I would say. Twitter doing any better today? Maybe a tad more realistic. The paradox of Bitcoin is that everyone wants it to rise whilst destroying the dollar so that they can then cash out into dollars. This is true. If you get offended by this statement, then, well, I'm sorry. The paradox is that you don't get Bitcoin. While that may actually be true, the problem with a backhanded statement such as Google it and do your research is not the strongest of arguments, because if you did have clear, concise, and simple statements to retort what the original poster said, then you probably would have used it. Where we're going, we don't need fiat. Yeah. But how exactly do you get there? Speculators. May God bless them. Let's stop the demonizing of speculators. Not everyone. Some of us have been here since the beginning. For the tech. The only guys who have been here for the tech are the cryptographers that were originally CC'd in on the email of the Bitcoin white paper. If that wasn't you, then a big part or some of the part of the reason you are here is because of the money. And that's fine. Honestly, we are talking about money, so. How else was Satoshi meant to get people interested? How else was the Bitcoin market cap meant to get big enough to actually challenge anything? Unless it was for the money, so. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you'd like to see more Reddit reviews. I'll see you again soon. My name is Crypto Daily, where I post every single day. Thank you very much for watching. Fair. Both statements could very well be true. But let's have a look at what effect a global quarantine might be having on Bitcoin.
Screw the quarantine. I'm out of here.
Initiate containment procedure.
Oh! Ah! Ow! Oh!
Go on now.